Tom Cruise's $600 million empire now under threat? Tom is an American actor and producer who currently has a net worth of $600 million. It is rumored that his empire may be facing unexpected threats. This will be revealing. After fully reviewing the pages of Celebrity Net Worth, People Magazine, and GQ Magazine, we came to identify the possible trouble his empire might be facing. Join us in our analysis of the crisis he is currently facing and find out his response and the steps he is taking to counteract the threats. How was he able to build his $600 million empire? He initially moved to New York City after high school to become an actor. He gave himself an ultimatum of 10 years to be successful. From New York, he transferred to Los Angeles to try out for film roles. After completing numerous fruitless auditions, his luck changed when he made his debut with a small part in 1981's Endless Love, starring Brooke Shields. He followed this up with a role in Taps with Timothy Hutton, for which he earned critical praise. He earned $50,000 for Taps. It was at this time that he met Paula Wagner, who signed him as a talent for the CIA agency. He earned further acclaim for 1983's The Outsiders as part of the ensemble cast of C. Thomas Howell, Patrick Swayze, Rob Lowe, Emilio Estevez, and Ralph Macchio, directed by Francis Ford Coppola. While these roles in his early movies did not give the prominence he sought, they were enough to land him the role of his lifetime. His star-making film came in the comedy drama Risky Business. His scene with him dancing and lip-syncing Bob Seger's old-time rock and roll wearing a button-down shirt, socks, underwear, and Ray-Ban Wayfarer sunglasses is one of the most recognizable and frequently parodied scenes in silver screen history. On a budget of $6 million, the movie earned $64 million while he earned $75,000 from it. It secured his position as an up-and-coming star and earned him his first Golden Globe nomination. He played Jack, an earnest, innocent youngster, to Mia Sara's Princess Lily and Tim Curry's heavily costumed menacing darkness in 1985's Legend. While it didn't do well at the box office with the critics hating it, it has since become a cult classic. His pay got a significant bump to $500,000 for this movie. What turned him into one of the most famous actors on the planet was the enormous success of 1986's Top Gun. His Lieutenant Pete Maverick Mitchell became one of the most iconic Hollywood characters, earning him a payday of $2 million. It was the highest-grossing film of the year with $360 million worldwide. It was at this point that his career earnings started to skyrocket. He appeared alongside legend Paul Newman in The Color of Money on the same year. His hits kept coming through 1988, with releases including Cocktail, for which he earned $3 million, and Rain Man, alongside Hollywood superstar Dustin Hoffman. Rain Man was 1988's highest-grossing film, bringing in $354 million. His reputation as a bankable star rose with his critically acclaimed performances in The Color of Money and Rain Man. A year later, he got his first Oscar nomination with Born on the 4th of July for his portrayal of real-life Vietnam veteran and anti-war activist Ron Kovic. The first half of the 90s saw him in Days of Thunder, earning him $9 million, Far and Away, $13 million, A Few Good Men, $12 million, The Firm, $12 million, and Interview with the Vampire, $15 million. For A Few Good Men, he got his third Golden Globe nomination. Two more blockbusters with him, heading the cast, soon followed. 1996 saw him producing and starring in the first installment of the Mission Impossible franchise, which grossed $457 million and earned him a full $70 million. For the third installment of the franchise, he made a cool $75 million. He also starred in Jerry Maguire, which earned $275 million on a $50 million budget and resulted in his second Oscar nomination. His Jerry Maguire character has become a widely used meme, with him screaming, "Show me the money." So far, his two highest-paid movies are 2000's Mission Impossible 2 and 2005's War of the World. For his work in the second Mission Impossible, he earned $75 million, while the film grossed $546 million. As to War of the Worlds, he made the very smart decision of agreeing to a 20% of the gross sales instead of an upfront salary. After the movie had a worldwide take of $603 million, he ended up earning in the neighborhood of $120 million. For 2018's sixth Mission Impossible movie, he earned around $50 million with an upfront salary of $28 million, from a worldwide gross of $791 million. Between 1983 and 2011, he earned $445 million in movie salaries, and between 2011 and 2019, he is reported to have made at least another $300 million for total career earnings of $745 million. For 2023's Top Gun Maverick, his base salary was $13 million. But as a producer, he was entitled to 10 to 20% of the film's first dollar gross revenue. First dollar gross is paid out after the theater exhibitors got their 40% of receipts, but before marketing and production costs are deducted. To date, over 20 of his films have grossed well over $100 million worldwide, with his global box office total set at $9.5 billion without any inflation adjustment. In 1993, he co-founded Cruise Wagner Productions with Paula Wagner. This is the major reason why he has become an extraordinarily wealthy actor, given the films they produced under the outfit have grossed $3 billion worldwide. In 2006, he and Paula helped revive United Artists, retaining a 30% ownership of the storied studio, securing ongoing revenue streams from both new and catalog releases. Tom has endorsed various brands, including an association with Ray-Ban since 1983. He helped drive Oakley's sales to $100 million. By the second quarter of 2000, he had a $100 million endorsement deal with Tag Heuer in 2004. He had another $100 million with Pepsi. With Omega, he had a $60 million deal. Despite his selective approach, his endorsement earnings are estimated to be at $100 million over his career. His discipline in choosing who to partner with further bolstered his personal brand without diluting his star power. What did the peak of his wealth look like? Over the years, he has owned a number of properties in the U.S. and beyond. While still married to Nicole Kidman in the mid-90s, he built a large mansion in Telluride, Colorado, in a property spanning 320 acres. The 10,000 square feet main house boasts 7 bedrooms, 9 bathrooms, horse stables, and a private helipad. While initially listing it for $59 million in 2016, he eventually sold it for $39.5 million in 2021. He sold a 10th floor condo unit in the East Village of New York City for $3 million in 2013. He sold a multi-residence property in the Hollywood Hills for $11.4 million to Eva Longoria in 2015. He sold his West Sussex estate in Dormans Park, East Grinstead for $6.2 million to Peter Andre in 2016. The property included a tennis court, heated outdoor pool, hot tub, billiards room, cinema, dance studio, and gymnasium. While still married to Katie Holmes, he bought his longtime Beverly Hills estate for $30.5 million in 2006. He eventually sold it for $40 million to billionaire financier Leon Black in 2016. He spent $11.8 million for multiple units in a condo complex in Clearwater, Florida, near the world headquarters of the Church of Scientology in 2018. He has a taste for automobiles, making a habit of buying polite German motors, punchy American metal, and a neck-snapping 7-figure hypercar. His 1976 Dodge Colt was his coming-of-age ride, manufactured by Mitsubishi in Japan. The 1.6-liter compact was what he used to head to New York City to pursue bussing tables and eventually acting. In the wake of supporting roles in Taps and The Outsiders, he bought his 1983 BMW 3 Series E30 in 1983. The E30 was a symbol of ambition, a Teutonic transport over-engineered for the yuppie 20-somethings of the 80s. After his filming of Risky Business wrapped up, he went down to his local leadership and got his 1979 Porsche 928. Remaining as the company's only front-mounted V8 coupe, the 928 was originally designed as a replacement for the 911. During their time on The Color of Money, Paul Newman supplied him with this 1988 red, white, and blue Nissan 300ZX SCCA race car, with which he won some races in a season in the SCCA. After falling in love with the convertible while filming Rain Man, he kept the 1949 Buick Roadmaster and used it off-camera on several cross-country road trips. Taking pride of a place in his garage, his 1958 Corvette is a first-generation solid axle, looking extra classic in two-tone glacier blue and white with silvery blue leather. Another of his earliest automotive acquisitions was a 1970 Chevrolet Chevelle SS. The quintessential V8 muscle car was a popular body style in NASCAR racing in the 70s. A favorite of his, the 1996 Porsche 993, is the last of the air-cooled Carreras. It is a modern classic that's rapidly appreciating in value. His 2000 Ford Excursion was custom-built to the orders of the Church of Scientology to protect his then-wife, Katie Holmes, who was pregnant and at the same time undergoing a purification rundown program. He bought his 2005 Bugatti Veyron on the year it came out at a cost of £1 million. He drove it to the premiere of Mission Impossible 3. His 2010 Celine Mustang S281 is an American-made muscle in his garage. Boasting up to 550 brake horsepower, he uses it for everyday errands. He also owns a private jet, which he uses for both his professional and private travel. He often uses his Gulfstream 4 to travel between filming locations, promotional events, and personal commitments. The jet is known for its performance, efficiency, and luxury. For vacations, Tom is known to stay at exclusive resorts like Miabana by Time Plus Tide in Madagascar. He frequents the island of Formentera in Spain out of his love for its beautiful beaches. He is also known to visit Vir Dara, a curry house in St. Albans, England. Other resorts he has stayed in include the Max Royal Kemer Resort in the heart of scenic Kemer, Turkey, and the Four Seasons Resort in Bora Bora. His prolific career and his clever business moves have enabled him to build his $600 million empire. Continue watching to know why it is now under threat. Why is his empire now under threat? The first threat identified is the diminishing of star power with age. However, even after turning 60, he continues to be a major box office draw, as evidenced by the success of Top Gun Maverick and the Mission Impossible series. His willingness to embrace technology and stay current with changing filmmaking trends keep him relevant and attractive to audiences. Another identified threat is his dependence on franchise success tied with his insistence on doing his own stunts. His continued persistence on performing his own stunts in action films is seen as a form of aging action star dilemma. His commitment to doing his own stunts is perceived as a form of invincibility complex, a refusal on his part to accept the limitations of his age. While it is undeniable that aging impacts physical abilities, his choice to do his own stunts raises concerns about his safety on the set and whether he can continue to perform at the same level. As far as film insurance is concerned, it's very likely that his insurance figure would rise due to his hands-on approach. The insurance premium can be surcharged significantly due to stunts. The determination of the additional premium cost is based on a thorough review of the anticipated stunts, as well as the steps to be taken to minimize the hazardousness of the stunts being contemplated. The average insurance premium for a film production is approximated at 3% of the film budget. That percentage includes the cost of cast insurance, covering the extra expenses incurred due to a covered accident, sickness, or death. For the seventh Mission Impossible movie, which had a budget of $291 million, $9.7 million would have been allocated on insurance premiums alone. A decent portion of that would be reserved for Tom, who was at the center of a myriad of stunts in the movie. While the number to insure him would be significantly less than $9.7 million, it could still very well be in the millions. His Scientology ties and the consequent public controversies arising from this association is seen as another threat to the downfall of his empire. His public displays of support for Scientology, alongside his relationship with the church early on, led to a decline in his popularity, threatening his career. However, he worked hard to reshape his image in the decade after his divorce from Katie Holmes. He kept on making movies, cutting down on his talking about Scientology. He is now seen as one of the last great movie stars, experiencing a late career renaissance after Top Gun Maverick became the biggest hit of 2022 and the Mission Impossible franchise remaining to be one of the most adored franchises of all time. However, to many, something remains to be off. There appears to be an uncanny strangeness around his image that is hard to pinpoint. There is something false behind his infamous movie star smile. His persona has lost something during the time of the scandals of between 2000s and 2010s. There is an emptiness that he may never be able to fill. It is clear that he enjoys being told he is a hero, and the savior persona which the church has invented for him has gone to his head. Then there is the threat of industry shifts in Hollywood. The rise of streaming services has significantly altered how people consume entertainment. Studios can potentially recoup costs and reach wider audiences by releasing films on streaming platforms. Tom's insistence on theatrical releases is viewed as a calculated risk and a deliberate choice to prioritize the traditional cinematic experience over the potentially higher profits from streaming. It is also seen as a tactic for him to leverage his star power and influence over studios, potentially affecting the terms of his contract. He cites the success of Top Gun: Maverick as evidence to the viability of theatrical releases and a testament to the validity of his vision, at least for a segment of the movie-going public. Finally, the business and investment risks he has been taking is considered another threat. He has recently been slammed for splurging $223 million to join the ranks of the shadowy residents of One Hyde Park, one of the world's most expensive and controversial buildings in London near Buckingham Palace. It also sits only 3 miles from the London branch of the Church of Scientology. The sprawling high-security pad he bought takes up an entire floor near the top of the building. It is complete with a double-height reception room, a Japanese-inspired kitchen, and a private spa. After spending $430,000 a week on the penthouse, he decided to make it a permanent residence. Tom's $600 million empire faces several key threats that could impact its value and longevity. What was the risk he took in purchasing his One Hyde Park penthouse? His purchase has stoked growing rage among London residents who are wondering why no one is allowed to know who lives there. Rumors of the world's most powerful oil barons, arms dealers, and on-the-run dictators being holed up there has been going on for years. The building is seen as a fortress for the world's elite, with advanced panic rooms and private guard-patrolled corridors and lobbies. Calling it everything from a luxury trophy project to a tacky display of wealth, experts have criticized the monolithic glass and concrete structure. Among its critics is architectural history professor Gavin Stamp, who refers to the building as a vast gated community for people with more money than sense, arrogantly installed in the heart of London. Investment banker David Charters refers to One Hyde Park as a symbol of the times, a symbol of the disconnect. There is almost a sense of the Martians having landed. Who are they? Where are they from? What are they doing? Critics argue that the building's emphasis on secrecy and security has turned it into a haven for the global super-rich, many of whom hide their wealth behind offshore corporations registered in tax havens. One Hyde Park is seen more of a ghost town instead of a residential community, with its many apartments being owned by faceless corporations rather than living individuals. Of the 76 apartments sold for a total of $2.7 billion, only 12 are registered in the name of humans. The rest are under the names of faceless corporations based everywhere from California to Thailand, registered in well-known offshore tax havens like Cayman Islands, the British Virgin Islands, Liechtenstein, and the Isle of Man. While some view it as the pinnacle of luxury, the majority of London, equivalent to millions of people, simply hate it. They see it as a glaring example of the excesses of the super-rich and a stark reminder of the widening gap between the wealthy elite and the rest of society. His purchase of the penthouse is seen as suitable for him, being one of Scientology's most senior advocates with the presence of a Scientology base very near the complex. Now that we know what the threats are to his million-dollar empire, it's time to know how he is doing to manage them. Watch on and find out. What current moves is he taking to address these threats? First and foremost, he is focusing his concentration on making more movies, starting with the 8th iteration of the Mission Impossible franchise. In the selection of his film roles, he focuses on action-heavy, blockbuster roles emphasizing heroism, intensity, and charisma. This is to protect his image as a leading man and action icon, while also avoiding overexposure and brand confusion that has affected the careers of other movie stars. He is looking forward to doing a movie with Alejandro G. Inarritu, slated for release in 2026. The movie centers on the most powerful man in the world, embarking on a mission to prove he is humanity's savior after a disaster he himself unleashed. He is considering a follow-up to his 1990 NASCAR racing film, Days of Thunder, as well as a sequel to Top Gun: Maverick. He is planning a very ambitious project involving SpaceX and NASA. It is a movie about the first civilian to spacewalk outside the ISS, International Space Station, a space station orbiting Earth. The project aims to be the first narrative film to be shot in space. To maintain creative control of his movies, he takes on the role of a producer to exert his influence over the creative direction and production process. This minimizes the risk of studio interference, while also ensuring his films align with his own standards and brand identity. Tom is out to prove that he is still a box office star despite his advanced age. To do so, he is actively involved in the promotion of the 8th Mission Impossible film in both Europe and Asia. He is scheduled to visit Seoul, South Korea to promote the film there. The film will also screen out of competition at the 78th edition of Cannes. He is likewise using his social media platforms to encourage fans to see the movie on the big screen. His insistence of performing his own stunts reinforces his image of being fearless and committed, generating massive media attention and fan response, which insulates him from many forms of criticism. To keep himself able to do his own death-defying stunts, he regularly switches up cardio and strength work with something like fencing and climbing to maintain flexibility and balance, the two things that give away your age. To help unearth physical weak spots and maintain a more youthful, functioning body overall, drop unusual practices into the workout, such as one-armed barbell presses. For his daily diet, it consists of just 1,200 calories, grilled foods, and a noticeable absence of carbohydrates. Carbs generate insulin, an aging hormone, that become glucose molecules in the body, damaging muscle and skin tissues that translate to aging. If you are into carbs, choose fermentable carbs like legumes and pulses, which produce less insulin than digestible carbs like grain and spuds. For cake, eat it all in one meal only as a single insulin surge is less damaging than regular carb snacking. Avoid chronic tissue inflammation that speeds up aging by grilling, which is cooking at low temperatures, and by increasing anti-inflammatory supplements such as flavonoids from onions or citrus fruits, isoflavones from soy, and 13-16 beta-glucan from Brewer's yeast supplements. Tom has taken a number of strategic steps to protect and strengthen his personal brand and entertainment empire. Tom continues to be a movie star to reckon with at the box office despite his advanced age. For a look at the life of another rich and famous celebrity, simply proceed to the next video we have prepared for you.